All right, we're going to try this again because the first time it didn't record anything. Or, well, it recorded and then it froze up and then everything disappeared when I opened it back up, which is unusual, but it happened. So, your targets for today are not on that page. They are for lesson 171 and 72. I can analyze model notes. I can evaluate the truthfulness of information to include in the report. I can take notes from nonfiction sources, and I can reference the source of the notes. Now, before we begin discussing where you're going to get your facts from, we're going to go back in our English books and look at page 331. And on page 331, we have an acronym, TOOLS, that's going to give us some safety tips for using the internet for research purposes. On page 331 in the top, it says, the computer connects us to the internet. The internet provides information about many topics. To use the internet safely, remember to use our tools. And each of those letters is going to tell us a rule for using the internet. T says, tell your parents if you ever see something on the computer that is unkind or wrong. So because you are 7 and 8 years old, maybe 9, we have to be extra careful when we're using the internet because sometimes you will go to a page and it shows things that are not appropriate for our age or even for my age. It goes full spectrum. So just make sure that you're careful about what you look at on the internet. I don't believe that any of you are going to be using the internet for research without your parents, so I'm sure that they're going to be extra diligent in making sure that you go to appropriate pages, which is O, only visit the websites that you have permission to visit. If your parents tell you not to go to a certain site, for example, if they say don't go to YouTube, then don't go to YouTube. They shouldn't find you on a site that they didn't put you on. The second O says only read, write, speak, and listen to words that please God, because there are pages that are going to have things on them that are inappropriate and don't please God. I hope that that didn't just turn on. L says, let no one on the computer know your passwords, address, or phone number. Those are all safety features. If people know your password, your address, or your phone number, they can find out a lot about you. And like somebody said the other day when we were doing our Zoom meeting, isn't it dangerous for somebody to have your address? If it's a stranger, it is definitely dangerous for people to have your address or your phone number or your password, because then they can get into any site that you've been on that asks you to create a password for entry. And S is to serve and love others with technology. Again, use it in an appropriate way. If you're going to make your own YouTube page, make sure that what you put on there is respectful to God. Now today, you are going to research facts about the animal that you chose to write your paper on. And if you look on pages 343 and 344, you have example research, and then you have blank research cards for yourself to use. Now, one of the things that you're going to be asked to do when you research your animal is to cite where you found your information. Miss Millette has, at school, when you were doing comprehension work, always said cite, cite, cite the evidence. That meant go back into the passage and tell me where you found something in the passage. Well, when you cite your source, what you're doing is telling me where you got the information from. So for you guys, there are going to be two main ways for you to find your information. One is through a nonfiction book, and two is through an internet site. When you cite your source, the first thing you do is put the title, if it's a book, the title of the book, and underline it. So when I did my research on owls, I didn't have a nonfiction book here at the house, but if I had, this would have been a good one. The author is Gail Gibbons. She writes all kinds of books for children that are nonfiction. Great source of information if I had it. But because I did not have a nonfiction book, I went on the internet and I did my research. And the title of my internet page, and believe it or not, internet pages have titles, was Owl Facts for Kids. Instead of putting an author's name in this author blank, I put the page where I found the information, and that page was www.coolfacts.com, and that takes the place of the author's name. So if you get your information from an internet source, put the title of the page and put the IP address. Not the IP address, the website address. Now, can you use the same source for all 3 paragraphs? Of course you can. I didn't ask for multiple sources. One source is fine. In the book, they have examples about elephant research. And today, of course, we are in the planning phase, and that's where we start our research report with 3 questions about your topic. Find facts about the topic in the sources like nonfiction books or nonfiction internet sources. On note cards, which are these right here, you are going to write interesting facts that answer the questions and write the source. You are going to answer 3 questions. If you look at page 343, they have the 3 questions with the sample animal in the blank. On page 344, you're going to put your animal's name in the blank. But the 3 questions are: what does the elephant look like? Where does the elephant live? And what does the elephant eat? So when you answer the 3 questions about your animal, you're going to tell me about its appearance. You're going to tell me about its habitat and where it lives, maybe even what country or what continent it lives on. And then, what does the animal eat? You're going to tell me about its eating habits. And those 3 questions are already listed on the cards. All you have to do is put your animal's name in the blank and then give me 2 or 3 facts. I know that there are 4 facts. If you want to put 4 facts, that's fine, but I need at least 2 to 3 facts about each topic area, or it won't be a very good paragraph, okay? Because you're going to need an opening, your facts, and a closing. So I want at least 4 to 5 sentences in each paragraph. I'm really excited about your research projects. I can't wait to read them. I think that it's going to be fun to find out facts about some of these animals that I know I don't know all the facts on. But use the research cards. When you do research, if you use the internet, please don't do the research without your parents. Make sure your parents are with you when you do this research so that you do not pull up an inappropriate page. You also want to research pages that are for kids. So like when I typed in that I wanted to find out facts about owls, I put in owl facts for kids. Because if I just put in owl facts, it's going to give me facts that I probably don't want to know about right now, that may be more information than what I care to know about. I know one of the things that I learned recently was that an owl's eyes have 1 million rods. You have 2 parts in your eye, rods and cones. One helps you see color, one helps you see black and white, and an owl has 1 million rods, and that's why they see so well at night. We have 250,000, so an owl sees much better than us. That may be a fact that some of you are interested in. It may be a fact that's just something that an older brother or sister would be interested in. So make sure that you find facts that are meaningful to you and facts that you understand. Do not go on the internet without your parents. Make sure your parents are sitting there with you while you do your research, okay? Animal name in the blank, 2 to 3 facts for each question. And then the next time that we get back together, we're going to talk about putting each of these fact cards into paragraph form. All right? So the last thing that you need to do this week after you do your research is cumulative review 353, 354. This is the last English workbook page you will do for the year. And yes, it is for a grade, so please take your time and do your best. All right? Get busy researching. It really won't take that long, not as long as you think. But again, make sure that you research pages that are for kids if you use the internet. All right? You guys have a great day, and I will talk with you again next week.